Dude, just do a 9K clutch dump. Fuck it.
That just kind of burned your clutch out.
Whatever. Fuck it. This just means I need
that smells bad.
Just means I need a stage 1. Upgrade. Treat yourself.
Oh my god. Hey, what's up guys, and welcome to a review of what is now the smallest car by far I've ever driven, including those classic Mini Coopers I drove a while back. This year's Dustin, and this is his 1991 Suzuki Cappuccino. Tell me about your car.
Bought it in September from the Japanese auctions. I've been looking since about April. I went through a guy named Mosir that I just met online, found another guy named Dylan, he's my importer, and bought it. It's a 0.66 liter turbo 3-cylinder engine, puts about 64 horses down. It's stock from factory. It's actually limited for the KEI class car. Weighs 1,500 pounds. It's 54 cubic meters. Rear wheel drive, front engine, 3-cylinder. Revs to 9K.
Is it pronounced KE?
It's pronounced Keishi Doja, which is basically little car.
Okay.
It's a rough translation, but it's a class of cars that goes no more than 0.66 liters and has 64 horsepower. Only Japan and the UK got these. There's like 10 or 12 of them in Canada, and I have the only one that I know of in the US.
So essentially the point of these cars back in the 40s, after World War II, was Japan wanted an affordable option for people. Basically, they wanted to mobilize people, get them to work and everything, without costing them a whole lot of money. So these were basically an alternative to a full-size automobile.
Yeah.
And they had a lot of tax breaks and insurance breaks and that type of thing, right?
Yeah, so the car itself actually ends up costing more when you buy it new. This one new from factory, I believe, was about 20K at the time, which is pretty pricey for a small car.
This car actually fits guys like me pretty well. I'm about 5'7", and it fits like a glove, honestly, except for the fact that there's not really a whole lot of arm room. But the fact that you can take the top off in this is really nice.
Yeah,
it makes it feel a lot less cramped.
T-top, target top, full convertible. The glass pit rear really just dips down in there. Feels good revving to 9K, doesn't it?
Yeah, I love the revability of the motor, even though it's turbo.
It doesn't feel turbo. And for stock seats, they hold you.
Yeah, they do. Oh my god, this thing moves around.
Yeah, it's stock suspension, but surprisingly only one strut is blown, and it's in the driver's side rear. Okay. Yeah, one of the shock towers is just blown. That's good to keep in mind before I start pushing it through the corners. But
I
have BC coilovers on the way, really stiffen it up, 6K fronts, 4K rears, fully adjustable height and dampening.
And we're off. I feel like I'm going so fast.
Going about 60 right now.
Well, I'll tell you what, even though it's got 63 horsepower, that is the fastest 63 horsepower I have ever felt.
Yeah.
It gets up and goes through the revs really, really quickly.
The stock flywheel, I was told by some other cappuccino owners in the UK, weighs only about 7 pounds. Don't worry about dipping it in there.
Okay.
It's fine. It's got height clearance.
Nice.
Surprisingly enough, this is stock height, and it's as low as most Miata owners go.
And we're back, going uphill.
Yeah, you can feel the torque hit the diff, and it actually is a pretty strong diff. It's just, I don't know if it's open or not. I haven't actually tested it yet. I'm just ordering a Cusco 1.5 way, and I'm gonna say screw it.
So the question is, should we try to do a burnout in this car?
Absolutely.
All right, we're gonna do that. Let's wait for a nice long straightaway. Oh man, this thing is raw.
The whole plan for this car is hopefully next summer to have a 13B Renesis shoved in the engine bay.
A rotary.
Yeah.
From RX-8.
Yes.
That is awesome.
I have a friend who sourced me one from 2009 with the transmission. The only issue I'm running into is when you shove the transmission in here, the shifter is going to be about here.
Oh.
And it's a push-down reverse, so I may not be able to use it. I may have to figure something out.
How's that going to work?
I could always use a Miata transmission. You know.
Would that hold the power?
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, because you can supercharge a Miata with no problem.
Oh yeah, I had 200 horsepower Miata and no issues with my transmission at all.
Well, hit me up. You have my number.
Absolutely.
When that's done.
Yeah,
that sounds like a ton of fun.
And if it's not enough horsepower, we'll port it. And if it's still not enough, I'll do a 13BT from an FC.
Oh
and then up the boost until I'm happy.
You're crazy.
I plan to make this car a car that kills others. You know, they always say to Miata, what's the ultimate answer? Is shove a V8 in it. But let's have a little bit of fun with something smaller. The only other swap that you can possibly really do in this car is a Hayabusa swap. But at that point, you take the
I've seen those.
You take the transmission out of it as well, and then you have a sequential.
Right? Oh,
and
yeah.
I want the 5-speed.
Yeah, I feel you on that.
So I'm sure there's a way you could do it. I mean, they've shoved a Miata with a Hayabusa in it, and they had a 5-speed, but I don't want to go through the pinion gearing and all that stuff.
Oh, that's fourth, not second.
Yeah, second's a little hard to find some days.
All right, let's see about this burnout, shall we?
I'm pretty sure it'll be a one-tire fire.
One tire fire. It's actually just a really clean launch.
Yeah, it doesn't spin tire.
Maybe this does have an LSD.
It might. I don't know. I haven't even really jacked it up other than to look under me to make sure there's no rust.
Well, I can tell the tires aren't that grippy.
But even then, it still gets up and goes. It holds its own.
Gets the job done in corners.
My tires are actually smaller than the Prius.
Oh boy. Some cows in the road.
More things bigger than my car.
Oh boy. Those two bulls are fighting.
Are they?
Yep.
Oh damn, I missed that.
Get out of here.
Before they charge the fence.
63 horsepower, yes. 6,000 RPM. 65.
Peak torque.
7. It's still pulling. I mean, technically it's pulling.
Yep.
On the uphill.
It's 8 psi. Fuel cuts at 14 psi, and fuel cuts at 12k RPM.
12k RPM.
Which I think only motorcyclists really get to say that.
That's insane. It messes with my perception of what a small car should feel like. Well, not what it should feel like, but like what is a small car. I used to think, you know, a Fiesta ST, that is a modern subcompact car, essentially the smallest car Ford will sell you. This thing makes that feel like a minivan.
It's actually the size of a Lotus Elan or MG Midget. It's about that size. And I'm sure you got some older British folk that watch your show, because I've seen some comments that just make me think that. But even in countries where this was sold, even in Japan, a lot of people don't even know what this car is, let alone its size.
How is the aftermarket support in the US for these?
Nothing in the US.
So you just buy everything from Japan, essentially.
Actually, UK.
UK. Oh.
I don't know what it is, but Britain really took off with this car, so I have BC coilovers on the way.
I actually did not know that these cars were offered in the UK.
Yeah, there are a few UK spec ones. I would say probably about 10,000.
Okay.
There was maybe only 400,000 of these made total in 6 to 8 years.
That's a good number, though.
But not all of them sold, so a lot of them actually got recycled. Yeah.
That's a shame.
It is what it is. Company's got to make money. Any OEM parts I can get from Japan on the auctions pretty easily. There's actually quite a few body kits for this that have passive aero that actually do
Please
work.
tell me there is not a Rocket Bunny kit for
There
this
is not a Rocket Bunny kit.
Thank God.
And I won't be doing any wide body-ish things. A lot of my friends are telling me just cut the fenders, you know, flare it out.
Let's not go that route.
But
not yet.
I want to make this thing a real sleeper. I want it to look super stock.
But have 250 horsepower.
Oh yeah, right at the wheels. You know, make it so I do burnouts in third gear.
Well, I can attest that this thing is, in fact, dare I say, more fun to drive than a Miata.
Now, is it more fun than an S2000? I know it's your favorite car.
Very different, because one has power and the other doesn't, and it's just hard for me to compare cars that either that have power and then don't have power.
In handling wise,
yeah.
which one would you prefer?
The S2000 has more grip for sure, but that, you know, it could just come down to the tires and suspension.
Okay.
I can't answer that question right now. Let me sleep on it and get back to you.
All right.
But thanks, Dustin,
Yeah,
for
no
letting
problem,
me drive
man.
your Suzuki Cappuccino. If you don't mind me asking, how much can you pick up one of these for?
So this one is actually an R grade because the floorboards rust out. So basically it means it's been repaired.
Okay.
Which is pretty nice. I picked this one up for 4,000. Through Mosier, he runs Royal Trading. He has a few more actually 92s that are available right now. I've seen them as cheap as $2,000.
And this had what, around, well, unknown mileage.
It's unknown for sure, but on the valve cover where the timing belt is, it says 80K kilometers.
So around 50.
About 50K. I mean, at the most, it would be 103,000.
Still not too bad.
It's still
for a 26-year-old
50 to 60,000 miles. It's the lowest mileage car I've ever owned.
It really has its own unique appeal, and it really appeals to someone like me. Probably because I can actually fit in it, but
it's the number one thing people hesitate away from.
I just love the high revving, small rear drive cars. Just a blast to drive. So thanks guys again for watching my video. If you liked it, please comment, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys next time.
Supra!